what is the need for data science, and then what actually is data science, and how to become a data scientist. I mean, what are the qualities required for data science, I mean skills, and then what is big data, what's the difference between data science and data analytics, and what are the types of data analytics, and finally I'll talk on about the course. Okay, what are the important contents that I'm going to cover in this course. So what is the need for data science? Here I'm going to cover a couple of applications where the data science is applied. And here you must be heard about autonomous cars, which are also known as self-driving cars. So it's very exciting that if you just sit in your car and it will drop to your home. So this is one of the important application where the data science is applied. And with the help of data science, you can make clever decisions like slowing down or stopping by itself and speeding the car. And here the car or machine is going to be learned by using the trial and error basics. So you need to train the machine by giving the feedback so that it learns by itself, and after a couple of days it is going to solve the particular customer. So the technique that is going to be applied is reinforcement learning, so which is also the technique of deep learning, which is hard today. So these cars are coming into practice within a couple of years, and though it was predicted that self-driving cars root out more than 2 billion deaths. So if the cars come into practice, so it is going to reduce the accidents. And now that means at the present, a lot of research is going on, and these self-driving cars will come into practice very soon. And one more application is airlines. So while traveling, you might have heard the announcement that we are extremely sorry to inform you that your flight has been delayed by 2 hours due to bad weather conditions, and they may say that regret the inconvenience caused. So this is due to the lack of data available. The flights are delayed or they are going to cancel at the last moment, and this is also due to the improper route planning. So due to that, the customer don't get the flight for desired time and duration, and incorrect decisions in the selection of right equipments, which also leads to the unplanned delays and cancellations. So if we apply data science, the particular airline can make very clever decisions, and it is going to elevate lives for both the airlines and the passengers. So the advantages over here are route planning. That means whether to schedule the direct flight or to schedule the connecting flight. And you can make a predictive analytic model which can build to foresee the flight delays. And nowadays, most of the advanced countries, they are using data science to predict the fare weekly, and they're also offering the customers the promotional offers, which depends on the customer booking patterns, and they may make decision on which class of planes to purchase for better performance. So most of the advanced countries like America and UK, so and also some other advanced countries, they have been applying data science or data analytics to make predictions in terms of flight activities. And one more application is the logistic companies like FedEx. They are using data science models for their operational efficiency. So they can make clever decisions such as they can discover the best route to ship their product, and they can find out the best suited time to deliver their product, and they can find out the best mode of transport. So these are the three advantages to the particular logistic companies, and if they apply data science. So the main use of data science is to make better decisions. That is, if they have a set of options, so whether they should go with option A or option B, and they can build a model. That model is called as predictive models, so which will predict the things. That means they can know what will happen next. And data science is also mainly used for pattern discovery. That means the data, we can say big data, is a large amount of data, so which has useful patterns and also unuseful patterns. So if we use data science, you can find out the hidden patterns which are not exposed before. So so this is the popular one activity known as pattern discovery. That means you can really go get into the data and find out the hidden patterns, and finally you will get the insights what you are looking for. Data science is the area of study, so which involves extracting knowledge from all the data. So you have a big data, and you can apply data science to extract the knowledge what you are looking for. That means you can get the insight what actually is required for you. So simply remember, data science is nothing but extracting the knowledge from the data that you have. So what the data scientist has to do is first, the data scientist has to translate a business problem into a research project, and then translate results back into the practical solutions. So this actually requires a deep understanding of the business domain as well as the data science expertise, and then you can have a final product which gives the insight to the customer or stakeholders. So the people who are doing all these activities, they are known as data scientists. So let me tell you what are the qualities actually required for data scientists. So as per the definition given by Rachel, so who is the chief data scientist at News Corporation, and he's also the author of the famous book called as Doing Data Science. So he defined some qualities which are required for data scientists. So first thing is you tend to be really curious. So this is the first quality required for the data scientist. So you must be curious in digging the knowledge or digging the patterns, interesting patterns that you are looking. And then you must be a good thinker who can ask set of questions related to the specific domain, and who are okay, that means who can deal with the unstructured data. So we can say that big data is of three types. One is a structured, means which has the proper relation, and one more is unstructured data, means which doesn't have the proper relation, and one more type of data is semi-structured, that means which has the partial structure. So one of the qualities required for data scientists is to handle the unstructured data. So you have to convert unstructured data to structured data, and then the structured data can be used for analytic purpose. So this is the basic definition given by the Rachel, and then we'll talk on how to become a data scientist. So as you know, data scientist is a very important role today in the market. So according to recent job study, data science is the fastest growing field. In India also, it has been emerging as one of the largest data science capital. So most of the important companies like Mercedes-Benz, Walmart, PayPal, and AIG, they are moving to India to set up their data science centers. So the world is struggling with the big data. So the world has no skilled people who can handle the big data. So actually, the big data has been increasing. So it was started in 1995. In the 1995, the size of the data was 130 billion. And it has been predicted that by 2020, this number will swell out to 40 trillion gigabyte. Sorry, there is one more GB. So it will increase to 40 trillion. So this is a huge number. So this data we cannot store in the traditional system, and we cannot also analyze it. So there is a huge shortage of people who can handle this unstructured data, or who are not having the deep analytical skills. So nowadays, the number of jobs are open, and these jobs have been increasing every year. So there are almost 200,000 data analytics jobs which are currently open in India. Even if you just consider America, so there are lots of opening for data scientists or some other related roles. So the prestigious Hardware Business Review has called the data science as the sexiest job in the 21st century. Okay. Now we need to discuss what the industry is looking. So the global search is for data scientist who is not a statistician, or who is not a computer scientist, or who is not a software engineer. That means these skills are not enough. For example, if you have much statistics skills and much some basic programming skills and computer science background, then they are not going to hire you because this information is not enough. So they are looking for well-rounded individuals who possesses the subject matter expertise, and then who are having experience in software engineering and analytics. And of course, the communication skills are very important. So as per my observation and as per my study, so how to become a data scientist. So here I have been mentioning 6 important skills. So first skill required is the programming. The languages such as R and Python, so they are very, very famous for data science analytics. So you must be having the skills in R and Python. In addition to these languages, you may also have the skills Java and some Scala. But these two languages, R and Python, are very, very important if you want to become a data scientist. And then you need the knowledge of statistics. So statistics also very important. Not that important. Nowadays we have the very well-known programming languages just like R and Python. So these two languages are having the libraries or APIs. So you can use those libraries and you can use the specific function to carry out your job. It's not that you should be thorough or you should be having strong knowledge in statistics. And then you need to have the knowledge in big data related technology and tools. For example, here Hadoop, Spark, Hive, Sbase. So these are the basic tools and technology which are required for a data scientist. And then data visualization, that means after getting the results, so that those results must be communicated properly to the customer or to the stakeholders. So for that also you must have skills. So for this you can use the tool called as Tableau, SAS, R, and also Excel is also used. So, and the fifth skill required is machine learning. So machine learning is the heart of data science. So there are different types of machine learning techniques. So we use those machine learning techniques uh, for data analytics. And finally, you need the knowledge of domain expertise. So domain expertise means you should understand the specific domain. And then after understanding the specific business domain, then you can go for some projects or some the data science based projects, and then you can help the particular organizations to find out their insights. So these are the 6 important skills which are required for data scientists. So if I talk on Python and R programming languages, as I told you, these are the very well-known data science languages. So Python is becoming very, very popular among the data scientists. So this language actually lets you to work fast, and this is very flexible, and it has very easy syntax to learn. And R is also very important language. So this language was developed by statistical persons a couple of years before for statistical computing. But nowadays, this language is very famous for doing the data analytics. So this language is also open source. So it has a lot of features which are useful for your statistical analysis and also the data representations. Statistics is one of the fields which actually deals with the collection, analysis, interpretation, and presentation and organization of the data. So for these purposes, we need to use the statistical methods. So all the data mining algorithms or data analytics algorithms use the statistical principles for data analysis. So this process actually requires the understanding of descriptive statistics and some other type of statistics such as inference statistics and some probability theory. So big data related technologies, you must be having skills. For example, data scientists are expected to have deeper understanding of big data. I mean, what is the big data and how to store big data and how to analyze the big data to get the required insights. So Hadoop is the basic solution for big data. So we can use Hadoop for storing the big data, and also we can use Hadoop for analysis purpose. Later on, one more advanced technology came, that is the Apache Spark. So this Apache Spark has a set of advantages over to the Apache Hadoop. And Apache Spark is very easy, and it comes with a couple of features. For example, it has SQL queries. That means you can write queries to retrieve the data. And then it also has one of the important component, machine learning. So you can do machine learning. That means you can apply machine learning techniques on your data. And then it also supports data streaming. Data streaming means capturing or and working with the streaming data. That means real-time data. And then Spark is also having one more important component for graph processing. So for graph processing, you can use Apache Spark. And one of the difference between Apache Hadoop and Apache Spark is Apache Hadoop works with the batch computing. That means if you have a historical data, and you can apply some machine learning on the historical data, and you can get the insight. Whereas Apache Spark is a in-memory computation. That means the data is stored in memory, and that you can use for computation. And this is used for real-time analytics. So this is the difference between Apache Hadoop and Apache Spark. And data visualization. So one of the very important skills after doing mining is you need to communicate the results to the end user or stakeholder. That means which actually shows the data. So data exploration, and then data transformation, and also finally the communicating the results in different forms. So nowadays we have very advanced visualization tools and methods. So you can express your data in different forms, which are liked by the stakeholders or the customers. So our Tableau is one of the very important tools, so which has been used today. But one of the drawback of the Tableau is it is the commercialized tool. That means you need to pay for this tool. So it's not an open source, or is a free. So the present world is looking for open type of technology. So that means open softwares or open data. So if you consider some advanced countries like America or some other UK, so they have already opened a special portal to present their data, and the data may be taken by any common people, and that can be used for analysis. So the world is moving towards the open technology. So that's why these R and Python are the open technologies, so which are very liked by the statistical persons or data scientists. So I just prefer R and Python for data visualization. So you can use them for it. And machine learning is the heart of data analytics. So without the knowledge of machine learning, you cannot become a data scientist, or you cannot do the data analytics. So machine learning means is the computer ability to learn from a set of data, and then it adapt itself without being explicitly programmed. That means you don't need to write lengthy programs. I mean, some thousands or some multiple thousands of programs. So simply you have a library. So use the library and you can use that for your specific purpose. For example, the machine learning techniques are classified into three types. The first one is supervised learning. Supervised learning means the outcome is known. Let's say, for example, you have got an email, so you know the outcome. That means that email is going to be either a fake mail or it's a normal mail or genuine mail. That means the outcome is known. So just if you apply some machine learning model or machine learning algorithm on that data, and then you are going to predict the mail is fake or mail is the normal mail or genuine email. So this is called as supervised. That means outcome is already known. So there are a set of examples in this category. We can say regression, decision tree, random forest, k nearest neighbor, logistic regression. So these are the machine learning algorithms or techniques for supervised learning. And one more category is unsupervised learning. Unsupervised means, as the name says, we are not supervised. I mean, the outcome is not known. So you want to classify, or sorry, you want to put your data into some category. For example, is clustering. So clustering is an example for unsupervised learning. So two of the well-known algorithms for this are a priori algorithm and k-means algorithm. And one more machine learning technology today is reinforcement learning. So this is one of the techniques used for deep learning. So nowadays, deep learning is very good for image processing. So if you use deep learning concepts, your model is going to have a higher accuracy. So these are the three techniques in machine learning. And then you need to have the knowledge and domain expertise. That means it is one of the key important components of data science. It provides the context for all the data science endeavors. That means without an understanding of how a business is, so you cannot predict the output. You cannot get the insight that you are looking. So first, you need to understand the specific business. So what the customer is looking or what the stakeholders is looking. So you need to collect all the requirements of the customer, and then you can start a data mining process. And so what is the data scientist process includes? So data scientist process includes these things. First is you have to identify the challenge. So what is the specific challenge, or first define the problem statement. After defining the problem statement, then you can go ahead with determining, collecting and cleaning the data set. So whatever data you have, that means it's a big data. So it means large and complex data that we couldn't understand. So which is in unstructured data. Okay, that means not having the proper structure. So you have to make it in the structure. So for example, data may have some thousands of fields. So we don't need all those fields. So you have to collect only the patterns which are required. That means we can say interesting patterns. So first get the interesting pattern from the large amount of data, and then you have to clean the data as well. For example, if you just look at any data, so that data may be incomplete, means some fields are not filled by the entry person. So for example, you might have seen that some fields are having the data such as unknown or not NES. NEM is not available. So if you use such type of data, so you may not predict the things. So what I mean to tell you is you have to clean the data properly. So if there is some inconsistent data or incomplete data, and then on the data, if you apply some algorithm, then you definitely are going to get a very less accuracy of the model. So that means before going for building the model, you need to clean the data. You must be having a pure data. So if you just give that data as input to the data analytics model, so then it may gives you the correct output. So that is the second task, and then the third task is you need to build a model. With respect to your problem, it may be the classification or it may be the clustering. Okay, so you need to use the specific algorithm as we have seen in the previous slide. So for clustering, we have some set of algorithms, and for classification, we have some another set of algorithms. So you have to choose proper algorithm or proper machine learning technique for building a model. And then after building a model, you need to evaluate the model. That means how far the particular model is predicting or helping the data mining process. And then analyzing the data to identify the pattern. As I told you before, all the patterns from the data are not necessary. So stakeholder may be interested in some a little bit of patterns. So just expose the important patterns. So that is the one of the task. And then finally, at the end, you need to communicate the findings through visualization methods to the stakeholders. So this is the actual data science process. Then let us talk on what is the big data. So big data means it's a large data, and we may not store this data in the traditional relational database management tools such as Oracle or some other data tools, for example, MySQL. So these tools are not enough to handle this big data. So simply we can say big data means it's a large and complex data which cannot be handled by the traditional softwares for capturing, storing, managing, and analyzing. So at present, big data is characterized by 5 V's. So if you just go back to the couple of years before, big data was characterized by only 3 V's. First 3 V's what I have mentioned over here. So at the present day, the big data is characterized by 5 V's. That means the first V is the volume. Volume means the size of the data. So we have a large amount of data. So this is the one of the characteristic of big data. And then variety. Variety means we have the different types of data. So different types means structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. So most of the big data is in the form of unstructured. And the third characteristic is velocity, means the data comes with high speed. And big data has some value, that means usefulness. So as we have discussed, so for example, airlines. So airlines people are not able to make proper decisions, means clever decisions, because they have a very less data and they cannot get the proper insight from that small amount of data. So if they mine the data properly, so they can have a good usefulness of the data. And then the last quality of the big data is veracity, means the quality of the data. So you need to apply the data mining, data pre-processing techniques to make the data as a quality. So big data has some quality. So before to have the quality type of data, so we need to apply the data pre-processing techniques to make it clean. The International Data Corporation, which is known in the short form as IDC, has predicted that the global data will grow by a factor of 300. As I told you before, it was 130 exabyte either in 1996 or in 2005, and it is going to swell to 40,000 exabyte in 2020. That means it's a large amount of data. So we cannot have the data, we cannot store it and we cannot process it with the traditional or existing methods. So that's why the research is going on how to handle this big data. So this data has been growing every 2 years. Then what are the different sources of data, big data? So nowadays we can say every industry is generating a large amount of big data. So there is no single industry that we can say is doesn't have the big data. So the big data is in every field. You can take business, or you can take a networking field, or you can take the scientific research. So from all the fields, big data is being generated. And so this big data, if you mine this big data, it may help for every industry to optimize their profit, to have a growth over their business. So nowadays, almost all the dominating companies such as Google, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft, and Oracle, they have already began to develop the data projects. The country like America has invested a lot on big data. So there are so many projects going on to handle the big data. So then what is the solution for this big data? One of the best solution for big data is Hadoop. Apache Hadoop is the solution for storing and processing the big data. So nowadays we have some advanced tools for handling the big data, but just remember that Hadoop is the basic solution for big data. Then what is the difference between data science and data analytics? So data science is the multidisciplinary field. So that means which also comprises the areas such as computer science, software engineering, statistics. So all these fields or all these knowledge is required for data science. So this is actually concerned with the cleaning, preparation, and analysis of the data. So this requires multidisciplinary knowledge or skills. Then what is data analytics? Data analytics means it just involves automatic insights into the certain data set. It says if you have some data, on that data, apply the data mining technique and then get the results and then communicate those results to the stakeholders. So we can say that data analytics is the superset of data science. So this is a difference between data science and data analytics for the moment. Then what are the types of data analytics? So there are 4 types of data analytics, or we can say business analytics. So the first is prescriptive analytics. Prescriptive analytics means which actually reveals what actions should be taken. Okay. After understanding or after analyzing the data, so we want to know what actions should be taken to overcome the problem or to come out of the specific problem. So what action should be taken? So this is called as prescriptive analytics. So for example, this is can be useful in most of the areas such as health analytics. In the health analytics, nowadays lots of applications are being developed to find out or to know what is the action to be taken for a specific disease. For example, there is some patient, he has some disease. So if you apply some data analytics based tools, so after giving data to the model or specific application, it may give us the results in terms of what actions should be taken. So this is the most valuable kind of analysis, and this results in rules and recommendations for the next step. And one more type is predictive analytics. Predictive analytics means this is one of the type of techniques which tells us what might happen next. Okay, for example, we just want to know what will happen next. So for this, you can go for predictive analytics. That means to forecast the future events. So for that, you can go for predictive type of analytics. And then diagnostic analytics means look at the past performance. For example, just apply the data mining techniques on the historical data, and then you can determine what happened. So this is called as diagnosis. For example, let's say some patient is there and he is having some health problems. Okay, so diagnosis is nothing but just look at the past performance, just guess the symptoms. Okay, and give those symptoms or give the data as input to the specific machine. Then machine will tell us what actually happened to the particular patient. It means that this is the result of analysis. We can analyze this information through dashboards. And one more type of analytic is descriptive. Descriptive means what is happening now. For the moment, what is happening now based on the incoming data. Okay. For example, real-time data is coming, and feed that data to the model or some machine learning model, and then you can come to know what is happening at the moment. So for this, you can visualize this type of information through real-time dashboards, or you can also have some email reports. So these are the four types of analytic methods or analytic types. So most of the modern projects are based on these type of techniques. That is, prescriptive means you can know what action should be taken, and predictive means you can predict the things what will happen next. A diagnostic means just look at the past performance and determine what has happened. And descriptive means what is happening now uh, after feeding the input real-time data. And finally, I just want to talk on the course as I have discussed with you. So you need 6 skills. That means programming, statistics, and then machine learning. And there are two important languages, R and Python. And nowadays, the industry is also looking knowledge in deep learning. So there are 8 modules in this course. First, we will discuss on data science. So what is data science? What are the applications of data science? And then we also talk on what is big data, what are the challenges with the big data, and how to handle this big data, and what are the tools and technologies with the big data, and then what is the actual process that is being carried out by the data scientists. That means data science process. And then we also talk in the module 1 that data science components. What are the different components of the data science? So those things will be covered in the module 1. And then Apache Hadoop. This is the basic solution for the big data. So every data scientist has to have knowledge in the Apache Hadoop. And then Apache Spark. So this is the one of the advanced tool over the Hadoop. So we will discuss about Apache Spark. As I told you, it has 4 important components: SQL, and then machine learning, and then streaming, and also graph processing. So we'll take the set of examples to handle these activities. And then you also need the knowledge of statistics. So I'm going to cover the basic things from the statistic point of view. And then, as I told you, machine learning is very, very important for data scientists. So here you need to understand what are the different types of machine learning techniques. And then we have the set of algorithms. So that means algorithm for classification, algorithm for clustering, so and algorithm for reinforcement learning. So that is covered in the deep learning. So how to use this algorithm for real-time projects or real-time problems. So machine learning is very important. And then how to do data science using the programming language R, and then using the programming language Python. And then at the end, we discuss about deep learning. So deep learning is very hard today. As I told you, this is being used in self-driving cars and also in some real-time applications. So nowadays, deep learning is used for face detection. For example, Facebook and some other advanced companies are using deep learning for real-time analytics. So we'll take some couple of real-time scenarios or real-time case studies on all these topics. With every topic, I'm going to discuss, or I'm going to cover the real-time scenarios, a way to apply these concepts that you have learned. And at the end, there is some projects, so which actually showcase the knowledge and the skills that you got through the course. So we are going to do the project at the end, and then finally there is some internal examination or also online examination, and then finally there will be a certification. So this is about the course. So this course is 3 months duration. That means depending on the availability and your need or your time, we can make it short also. So this is about my demonstration. So if you have any questions, you can ask me.
Currently, I am working on SAP HANA. So, how will I move to from SAP HANA to data science?
Uh,
Where then where I get it? Yeah.
yeah, as I told you, actually data science or data scientist, this is a very sexy job today. Okay, so there are lots of opening and most of the industries are looking for data scientists. Okay, of course, there are also some other roles with respect to the data science. So actually, let me tell you, for this job, no prior skill is required. Even though if you belongs to the different domain, so you can just learn the skill. Okay, just get the skills, and you can settle as a data scientist. Hello, yes, Mr. Pramod.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, basically, I have I worked on analytics like Power BI and SAP Analytics Cloud.
Okay,
Along with I had experience in Microsoft SQL queries
okay,
uh, and data warehousing background. So
okay,
even though I did the programming on C Sharp as well.
okay.
So if I want to move to data scientist, or I want to move to data center architect, so is these skills it will any help on this data science journey?
Yeah, actually, if you have some basic knowledge on SQL queries and how to mine the data, so it means that you are having some 25% of knowledge.
Okay, okay.
Actually,
So
you
for
have the
learn,
knowledge. Yeah, just let me complete. You have the knowledge to handle the small data, isn't it? So
right,
actually, big data is
right.
the unstructured data. So you haven't used these tools, no? Hadoop, Spark, isn't it? So we cannot use
No,
SQL or Oracle for storing or analyzing this big data.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, we cannot use right.
Yeah.
So
Any
for
more?
learning Hadoop, we need any prior knowledge on Java and anything.
As I told you, these R and Python are the languages, so very popular languages for data science. Okay, so if you just know these
Okay,
R and Python, then you can do data science. If you have Java knowledge,
okay,
so that is somehow helpful. Even you just start your journey
okay,
by using R and Python, that is also going to be fruitful.
okay. So you are mainly focused. I think you are giving the 8 modules in this, right? So in this
Yeah.
8 module,
Yeah.
which is the major you are going to cover in the 3 months period? Which is the like part, like Hadoop or machine learning or
Mm.
Python, which is the favorite subject? Like, see,
See,
you are not covering all the things, right? So everything is individually specialty one. Like if you take the Hadoop is a big data, and if you are taking the statistics, that is a vast subject. If you're taking the machine learning, a lot of algorithms will require. So,
yeah.
like R and Python, so a lot of scope is there. So, in which you are main focusing on which one,
Yes,
like Hadoop, yeah.
yes, listen. Actually, this if you want to settle as a data scientist, so these R and Python languages very important. Okay,
Okay,
and then
okay,
machine learning is the heart of data science.
okay,
Okay, so you must have skills, and then if you want to handle the big data, that means if you want to store big data, and then for that, actually Hadoop is also very important. You should have skills in Hadoop.
okay,
You can, if you want to exclude,
okay.
you can
So,
exclude deep learning.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. That's fine. So, in the during your our class, so are you able to provide any system access or any data access?
Uh, See, what I do is,
See,
for example,
we, we are learning the skills, right? So we have to practice it, right?
yes,
So
yes,
these things are everything is related to huge data, right?
yeah, yeah,
Where can we get the data? So even if you want to, if I want to
yes,
practice
yes,
or if I want to check the skill,
yes, I understand.
so
Yeah. So, for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some virtual machine. Okay, you can download it and you can
okay,
install it in your laptop. Okay, so
okay,
that machine is used for your practice purpose. And one more thing is I'm going to share the real time examples. So just execute those examples in your laptop,
okay,
and I'm going to share you the
okay,
material. Like,
okay,
yeah, I understand. Practice is very
okay,
important. No, you simply learning the things. Otherwise, I told you, no, industries are looking for project-oriented candidates. That means who already done some projects. Okay, it's not that, for example, if you get certification in data science, there is no surety that industry hires you. Are you getting?
yeah, yeah. That's why I'm asking. See,
Yeah, as per my
suppose
experience, as per my
if I want to
experience
learn something,
is, yeah, my experience tells me that if you, even though you have certification in data science related concepts, so they will not take you. So actually they are looking for some projects. Okay, if you have skills some projects, then
right?
so they will understand that whatever you have done in the in your projects, that might be applied in their specific business domain.
Right. See, if I have the some uh, basically I'm oil and gas. Suppose we are doing oil and gas firm. Okay, so
Mhm.
they have some Twitter account. So a lot of data is coming into Twitter account.
Yeah.
So we are using to analyze the data. So at least we have to showcase this, right? So what
Yes.
exactly I have done and what we have done. So we are getting so many queries,
Yeah.
so many things like this. So
Yeah.
see, if I learn SQL Server or HANA, so the institute they will give some data,
Yeah.
like specific any. Suppose if you are doing learning SQL Server will give some predefined databases. While you want to learn or practice something, even
Yeah.
though same in HANA or Oracle also they will give some sample database.
Yes.
Because I don't know whether the data science we will get that kind of any data.
Yeah. See,
Like I think we
let me
got
tell you
yeah.
that. See, as I told you, we have lots of open data for our analysis. Okay, we can use open data for practicing the things.
Right.
Okay, and then, for example, for storing this data, you can use HDFS. Actually, Hadoop has the HDFS file system, and to capture the real-time data, so you need to learn, for example, a Spark. If you take Spark, Spark also handles
Right.
real-time data. Okay, so we will generate
Okay.
some real-time data, for example, some network data, and then store that, and then analyze that data. Okay,
Okay.
the first thing is you are not having the skills in the these concepts. Okay, so just practice, just
Right. Right. Right.
learn these things, and then this is not going to be enough. So then you have to extend
Okay.
your learning for a couple of months, then you will become the
Okay.
perfect.
Okay. Got it. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Similar to
Just
MySQL or SQL Server, here also there are tools like Hive, HBase. Okay, so those are the tools for storing and
right.
analysis. So HBase is the one of the tool which is used for real-time analytics, and this is
Okay.
it's known as NoSQL database. That means the data has no structure, so it mostly handles the real-time data which is unstructured. Okay, so that you can learn in the secondary stage.
Okay. And I have one more question.
Hmm.
Uh, so see, we have 8 modules, right? So like Hadoop is the something big data analytics.
Yeah,
and
basic
completely
module.
machine learning. Yeah, machine learning and statistics. It's a like kind of the functional guy will give the some
Yeah.
blueprint or diagram. So he will design the blueprint. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
then we have to build that whatever the data flow using either R or Python, right?
Yeah.
So I think it looks 3 to 4 different skills in the data science. So
Yes.
my question is,
Mm.
the data science as the job,
Mm.
uh, we need to learn all these things, or if I expert in one language like R or Python or Hadoop, that is enough.
Listen. Yeah, I understand your feeling. See, actually, no, data scientist is not the one of the role. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, there are different roles in this technology. For example, you just know Hadoop. Okay. Hello.
Okay.
So if you
Yeah.
just know
Yeah. Yeah.
Hadoop,
Tell it.
yeah, if you just know Hadoop, you can settle as a Hadoop administrator, or you can settle as a Hadoop architect. Okay, the industries are also
Okay.
looking for specific role. Okay, and one
Oh.
more thing is,
Okay.
one more role is data engineer. Okay, data
Okay.
engineer means you can simply handle the data. That means you can store data. Okay, just managing the data. So that is the one of the role.
Oh.
Data a database
Okay.
administrator or a data engineer, and then just
Okay.
making use of Hadoop for storing the data, or one more advanced tools like Hive or Headless. So like this, there are different roles with respect to this technology. Okay, it's not that you should
Oh.
be familiar in all these technology. Okay, so but these are the basic things which are necessary for everyone. Okay.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Fine.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
after learning this, then you can become a specific with respect to your some domain or some specific task.
Right. 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 I got it. Got it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Dilip. Yeah. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more doubts?
Yeah. Thanks for it. No. No. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Actually, I belongs to a maths background.
Okay.
That's why I decided to go in this field,
Okay.
and I'm totally fresher.
Okay.
I have just 1.5 year of teaching experience only.
Okay. Yeah. First, let me tell you. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, for this technology, no prior experience or prior knowledge is required. Okay. So just forget about your background and your experience that you have. So what you have to do is just get these skills and you can start your journey.
Okay. Okay.
So you are saying that you have
Okay.
knowledge in R and Python, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so you just actually these R and
A little knowledge
Python
is
are
there.
yeah. Okay, okay. R and Python are the very well knowledge programming languages for data science. Okay, so what we are going to do is I'm going to cover
Okay.
this course these concepts, and with every concept I'm going to take real time case studies. Okay, and then for your practice I'm going to give you the virtual machine. Okay, you can download it and then you can install it in your laptop and just practice every exercise that I give.
Okay. Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah.
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 So one more thing is, yeah, even I'm telling you that even just understanding these concepts and also getting the certified, no, that's not enough. Actually, the industries are looking for the people who are having the skills in terms of problem solution. Okay, problem solution means you must have involved in some projects. Okay, so after completing this course,
Mm.
so just involve deeply in the projects and then prove your skills. Okay. So whenever you go for interview, they are asking for
Mm.
the
Sure.
questions in terms of problem solution. Okay. For example, if you do the project, you already done some. That means you already got some experience in some specific problem. Okay, so those skills you can convert to their problem. Are you getting?
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the way to get the job in the software industry and
Hello.
get about data science. So what I suggest you is
Okay. Okay.
just learn this. You learn R, learn Python, okay, and also as I told you, machine learning is very very important. It is the heart of data science, okay. So without machine learning, you cannot do data science. Okay, so you have to learn this, and then Hadoop is the basic tool for data science. So you have to learn about Hadoop, okay, and even though if you don't have a knowledge in
Okay.
Java or some other programming languages, it is not required. Okay, you can start your journey fresh.
No, I have knowledge in C plus plus,
Hmm.
a little
What
bit
about
R and
Java?
Python also.
Java.
No,
No problem. Actually,
no experience.
if you have some object-oriented concepts knowledge, then that is going to
Uh,
helpful. Even though if you don't have, we'll discuss it. No problem. It's not necessary that you should have the skills in C, C++, or Java. Okay. See, for this concept, what is
okay.
required is just understand the data science flow. Okay, just understanding the data science
Mm.
flow, how to solve the problem, what are the machine learning techniques used. If you understand that, then later on just get into practice and do the things. Okay, and later on you can also extend your skills if required deeply.
Okay.
So these are the basic things you need to learn:
Okay.
R, Python, machine learning, Hadoop. And there are
Mm.
different roles in the data science. Okay, not only the data scientist, there are other roles also, like data engineer. Okay, industries are also looking for data engineer,
Correct.
means whose job is to store the big data and then query the big data. Okay, for this actually no need of the remaining things. If you know, just know Hadoop and learn Hive or his base tool for data storage, then that is going to be enough. Okay, and there are also some other roles like mm, data engineer is one, then Hadoop administrator is also there. Okay, if you just have knowledge in Hadoop and then a little bit about machine
Mm.
learning and some other R and Python, that is enough. Okay, but actually this knowledge is required for the different that means what the industry is looking. So if you have these skills, okay, after having these skills, then you can be specific to some specific role. Depends on the industry.
Mhm.
Are you really interested?
Yes.
Then
Yes,
just
I'm
please,
interested in this course.
yeah. So just know, just don't waste your time. Okay. So there are lots of openings are there. Okay. So just forget about your background
Okay.
and then just learn these concepts, and then we will just do some practical things and then get the skills, basic skills what is required. Then later on you can extend your skills to learn, that means to be specifically, that means for example some industries only look for data storage purpose, so then just get more skills in that. And some industries needs for looking for analytical skills, that means machine learning. Okay, then you can become specific there, like that.
Okay. Okay.
So just forget about your background and start the fresh journey.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so if you have any more questions, you can ask me.